Good morning, America. Thanks for joining us here on the Andy Kirkendall Show, where Andy interviews actors, writers, filmmakers, athletes, musicians, songwriters, and more, and asks them, what do you do and why do you do it? So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show.
Good morning. Welcome to Morning Moments. Thank you for joining us today. Today, I have a returning guest to Morning Moments. She was on July of last year, and she contacted me and said she's got some other projects going. I says, "Oh, come on back." Filmmaker from Alabama. It's my pleasure to bring back Laura Ann Heaton Gray to Morning Moments. Welcome, Laura Ann.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I've been looking at some of the projects you've been doing, and you've been on my Facebook page, and been looking at some great things. So let me ask the question I asked a returning guest: what are you doing now, and why are you doing it?
Oh my goodness, there is so much going on right now. I am right smack in the middle of directing and producing a film called The First 30 Days. We're in pre-development for another film that I'll be directing and producing for Dale Norman Green called Sugar Creek. I have a devotional that I'm getting ready to put out. And then also I have been asked to speak at a major event that's happening in Rome, Georgia, and I'm getting all kinds of opportunities to do speaking as well. That's just, one of the main ones that's coming up that I think a lot of people would be interested in. I spoke at an event up in Knoxville a couple months ago, and so many people from hearing that very short version of some of my story, it's just been blowing up, and I'm getting requests all over the place to come and speak. And so truly blessed with that and everything else that I have going, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
And we're going through renovations here at the studio. This is my new kind of podcast web show area that we've put together for in-house stuff, but also people come and they rent the space as well. And we've just gone through total renovation of the space to make it work better for people. And so that's been very challenging as well. So there's a lot going on.
Let's start with if you don't mind, the 30 days. Tell us what that's all about. I watched a little bit of your clips and some of the things that's going on. What was the inspiration behind that, and what was the story behind that?
Okay, so the first 30 days originated out of the Quarantine Film Festival, which was a film festival that was put on, kind of as the pandemic was beginning to give filmmakers an opportunity to still keep working and doing what they do, but, produce a film. The challenge was to produce a film that you could make in quarantine. And so they had all of these different awards and areas for you to strive for. And the first 30 days actually tied for first place for the most quarantine themed film. And so with this film, I knew that people could do what they needed to do while being in quarantine, and they wouldn't even have to leave their homes. And it's following the story of a mass exodus from Earth. Thousands of people, well, millions of people disappear from Earth. And so everyone is put into lockdown while the world figures out what is going on. Where did these people go? And it's an intimate look into the lives of those people that are still remaining on Earth. I never like to use the term left behind because I don't want to reference Left Behind. And so I'm very careful with not doing that, but I think I did a few minutes ago. But those that remain, it's an intimate look into what they're going through and their thought processes. And it's, there's some people who have absolutely no idea what's going on, and they, there's conspiracy theories flying all over the place. Some people think it's aliens. Some people kind of are like, wait, is this that thing that grandma used to talk about with, God taking his people and all of that. And it's just an intimate look into what those people are going through, whether it's parents that are missing their children, or we have Sandra Lafferty, who's in the film, and she was in the Hunger Games and Walk the Line and Selfless, and she is bedridden, and so she's an elderly person who her caregivers have disappeared, and so now she has to figure out, I've got to get out of this bed or I'm going to die. And so all of these people are, going online to talk about what's happening in their lives. And so it's a found footage film. And to keep with the authenticity of it being a found footage film, all of the actors are recording themselves. And so I meet with each actor, we go over their storyline. Many of them are helping write their own stories, and then we get together with, yes, I like this. Let's change this. Let's go this direction. And even, doing Zoom calls, kind of setting up the scene of how I'd like it to look and all of that. And so it's been really challenging. We have, I think it's 74 cast members. So it's a lot of people, and all of it is being done virtually. And so it's definitely not an easy task. And we have people in the cast who have never done film before, all the way up to people like Sandra Lafferty, who are pros in this industry. Because I wanted to give as many people an opportunity to be a part of it as possible. But it's an amazing project, and it's, once we put it all together, it's going to be really good.
So your devotional is it's about broken people or brokenness. Tell us about that?
So Worthless to Worthy is the title of when I go and speak somewhere. And I think that we talked a little bit about my story last time I was on, about just the different things that have happened in my life that caused a deep-seated sense of unworthiness and feeling like my past decisions made me unworthy of any success or anything good, or anybody loving me, or even letting God love me. And so I felt like I needed to create a devotional to go along with that. Even if someone doesn't hear me speak somewhere, then they have a devotional that touches on those points of, you're not broken and you are worthy, and here is why. And it's an intimate look into helping us love ourselves regardless of the things that are in the past that have either been done to us, or we've done to other people, and that God loves us no matter what those things are. And it helps us see ourselves through God's eyes and how he sees us, to discover that we are not worthless. We are worthy. And all we have to do is give our lives and those things over to him, and he will wipe them away. So right now, we are doing pre-sales. And there is an Eventbrite link that we have where you can go and pre-purchase that devotional, and then there will be a release of the devotional itself. I'm not sure yet where, probably on my website or something like that, where you can go and click to purchase that book. Be around like June, July.
June, July. And speaking of June, July, I think it is in July that you're going to be in Rome, Georgia. Is that correct?
I will be. I've been asked to speak at the Rise Up 365 Expo, and that is an expo for all Christian filmmakers, artists, to come together. There's classes, seminars, workshops. I'll be speaking, Kevin Sorbo will be speaking, and then also Anthony Michael Hall, which a lot of people have been surprised that Anthony Michael Hall is going to be speaking. But he was in like 16 Candles and some of those other movies back in the 80s. And he always played like the reject and that kind of stuff. They actually have a special right now where if you sign up for the Day of Prayer, which is in May, then you get a huge discount on your ticket. And so I'll send you the link that you can share for people to go and purchase those tickets to that event. And
So is there, in the last couple minutes here, is there anything that you just feel God's just sharing with you that in your heart that you want to share with us?
one thing I'll say is I've kind of over the past year gone through a period of depression, and just because I've had a lot come against me. No after no after no, or disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, and just feeling like, like, God, I felt like you brought me here, but I feel abandoned right now. Nothing's happening. And I it was like a whisper in the ear of, but did you give all of those things over to me? And have you dedicated your business and your films and everything that you want to do over to me for me to handle? Or have you been trying to do all of this by yourself? And it was like a aha, like light bulb moment, because it's a lesson that I think we all learn over and over and over again, that if we just turn those things over and surrender them to God to handle and to take us, so much further than we could ever dream of, he will do those things. And ever since I've made it my purpose, or not made it my, well, I mean, I have made it my purpose, but I've been very purposeful is what I'm trying to say, and making sure that every day I don't let a day go by that I'm not talking to God and I'm not surrendering everything that I have over to him and telling him to take care of it. And you know I have these dreams, and I know that you planted them within me, and so I give them to you. And ever since, I've been very purposeful in doing that, and making sure that I don't let a day go by without talking to him and really being in the Word, and all of that. Things have just blown up, and I'm almost chasing behind some of these things that the doors that God has opened. And before, I was sitting there going, where are you, and where is the things that I was promised? And now, to a point of complete surrender and just letting him take care of everything, he is opening up so many doors. And so I guess my message for anybody who is listening is that God knows your heart, and he knows your dreams, and he has a plan for you. And you've got to not try to keep doing everything yourself, and just hand it over to him and say, God, if this is what is meant for me, let it happen. If this is what is meant for my life, I give it to you. And what is in your plan and within your will, that is where I will go, without trying to make the plan myself. That's a lesson that I learn all the time. And I think people who are in the industry, they deal with that as well, because it's hard to be patient and wait for those opportunities to come to you. And so we've just got to come to a place of trusting and have faith that what is meant for us will come for us.
What a great word. And I'm sure that somebody needed to hear that today. Thank you for sharing that. Well, you keep up with what she is doing. We've put some websites down below. You've seen some things that she's sharing. Please follow through up and check those things out. And as we close today, I want you to take a few moments and pray for Laura Ann. Pray that God would continue to bless her. She needs your prayers, folks. You needed the practice. So pray that God would bless her in a great and mighty way. Thank you, Laura Ann, for being with us again on Morning Moments.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing. Share this message on with somebody else. Keep coming back, and may God richly bless you.